Hello beautiful people, so today we're going to make the V-shaped dress, and these are what you're going to need. So right now I'm chaining, and my chain should measure to half of my waist measurements. My waist measurements was 28, half of it is 14, so I believe that when stretched or not, like slightly stretched, it should measure 14. So I'm actually done chaining, and I'm gonna take my tape measure, and I chained 61. So the chain should be an odd number so that you can be able to determine the middle of your work. So by chaining 61, then it means the middle of my work will be at the 31st chain. So I'm just going to add 2 more chains for turning, then perform a half double crochet in the 3rd stitch from where my hook is, and continue with half double crochet till the middle section, or rather till I get to my 30th chain. See you when you get there. So I'm at my 30th chain, and the next stitch is my 31st stitch. I'm going to do 3 half double crochet into the same stitch. That's 1, 2 and 3. Then I'm going to grab my stitch marker. I chose to use a yellow yarn, which you can use as a earring or a stitch marker. Then after making your point, you'll just continue with half double crochet to the end. See you when you get there. So I'm at the end of my work, and I'm just going to do chain 2, then turn, then do half double crochets beginning with the 1st stitch. Don't skip a stitch. So you just do half double crochet to the point where your stitch marker was. So this is row 2, and actually we will repeat row 2 for the rest of the rows. So I have gotten to the middle where I placed my stitch marker. I'm going to place 3 half double crochet in the same stitch, then replace my stitch marker in the 2nd stitch of my 3 half double crochets. So just count, then put the stitch marker in the 2nd stitch, and always remember to replace it, because it might be a little bit tricky to locate the middle section when you come back in the next round. So remember to replace it, then continue with half double crochet to the end. So I'm done with my 2nd row. And basically this is the row that you're going to repeat. I'm going to chain 2, then turn. Always remember to place 3 half double crochet in the middle, then just do half double crochet in the other parts. So I'm on my 24th row. I'm almost done. So I'm just going to finish up with half double crochets, just as we have been doing. So you'll have to do 3 pieces of this, and your 24th row or your last row should measure half of your hips. I'll just illustrate it later after I'm done with the rows, the 24th row. So I've gotten to the end. I'll simply just cut my yarn and pull it through. So we're done. I'm done with making my 3 pieces. They are all similar, all 24 rows. So as you can see, they are all the same and they have the same measurement. So what I'll just do, I'm going to take my measurement. I'll take one, place it like that, and then take another one. This one will be the front panel, so this one will cover the boobs and this one will cover the from the waist up to the hips, because these measurements, as we had indicated earlier, they're just right to fit my hips. So if you've not yet reached your hips measurements and you had your waist measurements to be maybe 30 and you've done 24 rows and you're still not yet to your waist measurement, to your hips measurements, I'll advise that you do more rows, maybe 3 or 5, until you get to your measurements. So after I have these measurements, I'll just do this. I'll estimate the length of my dress. So my dress is supposed to be 28 inches, and as you can see where I'm placing my tape measure, I'm taking away 3 because of this. I'm just estimating this part will take 3. So whatever I'm left with is 25 inches. So taking from this point where my cleavage will be up to where my crotch will be is about 17 inches. So it means that I want to get to 25 inches. So it means that I'll have to increase this part, this area, until I get to 25 inches. But this time round, we are not going to finish our half double crochet the way we have been finishing, but the increase will still be at the middle, and at the same time we'll be reducing at the edge. We are going ahead. This was our last half double crochet. I'm going to chain 2, then turn, then make 2 half double crochet together, just like that. That means that I've reduced a stitch from that side, and I'll continue with my half double crochet till I get to the middle and make my increase. So I'm going to do these rows till I get to 25 inches, assuming that I have already connected my top to my skirt. So simply simply do half double crochets till you get to the length that you want your skirt to be. It depends. Some like it short, some like it long, wherever you want it to reach. So you'll just do this, but remember, we are no longer finishing our rows the same way, but instead we will be finishing and starting with a half double crochet 2 together. So I've gotten to the middle of my work, and I'm simply going to do 3 half double crochet onto where my stitch marker was and replace my stitch marker. Remember, we used to put it onto the second half double crochet, and then continue with half double crochet until you're 2 stitches to the end, and I'll meet you there. So I'm left with 2 stitches to the end, which is 1, 2. I'm simply going to do 2 half double crochet together. Simply yarn over, pull through your yarn, then go into the next stitch and pull through your yarn again, and yarn over and pull through all, then chain 2, and we'll also do a reduction when you're starting. We're simply going to do a 2 half double crochet together, pull through your yarn, you have 3 loops, then into the next stitch, pull through your yarn, you have 4 loops, then yarn over and pull through all, then continue with your half double crochet to the middle. I did 20 rows plus the 24 rows that we had started with, then 20 rows with the decreasing on the sides, on the edges, so that I can achieve the height or the length that I wanted. So as you can see, it's at 28. Continue flattening these sides as you also flatten this side. So let's just get into it. This is my 44th row. Just going to finish my 44th row, then start flattening on both sides. Just the same way we've been doing it. I'm left with 2 stitches. I put 2 half double crochet together, chain 2, turn, then 2 half double crochet together. Always remember to begin with a 2 half double crochet together. So I'm approaching my middle section where I had placed my stitch marker. So the thing about this, we are not going to place any half double crochet at the middle, and we are also going to skip a stitch. So let me just show you how I'm going to do it. So I have 2 stitches left to the middle, you see. So this is my middle, and then I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip this stitch and place my half double crochet on the other one. That will be my last stitch. Chain 2, then skip the first stitch, place 2 half double crochet together, then continue with half double crochet till you get to the end. I have 2 stitches left. I'll just do 2 half double crochet together, stitch, chain 2, then turn, Then the reason as to why I'm not skipping a stitch while at this end is because I don't want spaces on my edge, but I don't mind having spaces here because this side will be covering the hip, so I don't want to have any spaces when wearing my clothes. So that's why I don't choose to skip a stitch here, but I rather do 2 half double crochet just like that, then continue with half double crochets. So I'm going to do this illustration for the last one. And now you remember that you also notice that I'm only working on one side. Then when I'm done with the other side, I'm only working on this side first. I'm only working on this side. We'll flatten this first, just like that. Then I'll come work on the other side. So we will work on this side together, then I'll show you how to attach your yarn, then just continue. It will just be the same thing. Please don't mind the background noise. I'm almost getting to the end. And now for this side, I won't put a half double crochet here. We'll skip this one. Always remember to skip this and then put your last half double crochet on that space right there, and then chain 2, skip this one, then do a 2 half double crochet, by doing this, by skipping this stitch and performing 2 half double crochet here, it means that I'll be decreasing my row with 2 stitches on this side but with 1 stitch on this side. So I'll be decreasing my rows with 3 stitches on each row. I'll just continue. I hope my illustration was clear. As I'm going up, I just skipped the first stitch. I skipped the first stitch here. After chaining 2, I skipped the first stitch, then do 2 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, then continue with half double crochets till I'm left with 2 stitches to my end, then do 2 half double crochet together and chain 2 like that until you'll have reduced this. So I'll tell you how many stitches I did, then I'm just going to show you how I'm going to connect my yarn from this side. So for this other side, we'll have to attach our yarn. So this is the other side that we haven't worked on. We haven't started working on, rather. So this is where I placed my stitch marker, which marks the middle of this work. And I'm going to attach my yarn here. As simple as that. Why am I doing this? Because when I was starting my work, my reduction on this edge, I started from here, from this side. So just to continue with the flow of my pattern, I will not attach my yarn from this end, but rather attach it from here, so that where I'd stopped is where I'll begin my other side, so that the pattern will still remain to flow the same way. So after attaching my yarn, I'll just chain 2, then I won't perform a half double crochet in that first stitch. I'll do 2 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, 2 half double crochet together, then continue with half double crochet to the end of the row. And that will be my pattern. The same thing I'm doing this side is what I'll do this side. I just wanted to show you how I'll connect my hook, and as you can see, the work has already flattened. So I actually went ahead and did 20 rows of reduction on both sides, and this is what I came up with. I really did not expect it to turn out this way, but anyway, it looks so nice still. The V is now inverted in a way, and I think it looks cute. Maybe it's because I hadn't counted my stitches well, and I didn't know how many to reduce on each side so that I can achieve a flatter design. So we'll just go with what is there. So as you can see, I just want to show you how to join the top and the skirt, and we're going to simply make a slip stitch and make a knot. So you'll take your top. Before anything else, I advise you to count your stitches on your top. So right now I'm trying to locate my center so that I can join it to the lower part, and the center will help me mark where I will start counting from. So after marking our center, we are going to count the stitches on our top. So we know that we had our beginning chain was 30 stitches, no, 60 stitches and 30 one side, 30 on the other side. So I'm going to count 30 stitches on my top. So I counted to 30, then I'll simply go into my 31st stitch and make a slip stitch, just like that. Then go into my 30th stitch, front loop only. Please take note of how I'm holding my yarn. Front loop only, and then you're going to the other part, the other side, and go into the back loop only and make a slip stitch. Then you do a front loop, then go into the skirt and do a back loop, go into the back loop. I'm struggling a bit because my beginning chain was quite compact and the stitches are a bit tight. That's why I'm having a hard time passing through my hook, but the pattern is really simple. This will ensure that you'll have a very seamless look and it will be very neat. So you simply go into the front loop and back loop and slip stitch. Just like that. this will be our pattern for joining these two pieces. Some may prefer using a darning needle, but this is the best. So I'm almost done. I'm approaching the end, and I'm actually going to do my last slip stitch. Then I'm trying to secure my yarn by performing slip stitches along the top, just like that. Then I'll fetch my scissor and cut my yarn. So I'm actually done joining the two, and as you can see, it looks so cute. So we're going to join our front panel to our back panel of our skirt, and my waist is 28 inches, and as you can see, this is 24 inches, so it will mean that I'll have to leave a little bit of space in order for my bust to be able to pass through my dress, because my bust is 34. So when I leave a little bit of space, it will give me an allowance to be able to wear the dress without necessarily struggling. I was not able to find my darning needle, so I didn't want to keep this tutorial any longer, so I had to hack this part. I just used a normal needle and went through my work using the back side, because it's a bit smoother compared to the thin one. Done with joining the sides of my dress, and I'm simply going to show you how to tie your straps. So this space is the one that was left for the allowance. I'm just going to go through this point, then that. I'll go through the back first, then the front. I want to really appreciate you for clicking this video, and please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and comment on whatever areas that you need me to improve on, or just to appreciate the video and the work that I put into it. Thank you so much, my lovely people, and see you in my next tutorial, because this is just the beginning. So that's one way of tying it. Then this is the second way of tying the straps. And I'll just leave you and say goodbye, because it was wonderful doing this tutorial, and being my first one, I'm so impressed, and I hope I'll improve with time with the editing and all those things. So please give your girl some hope and like the video. Thank you. Bye.